Welcome to Nissi News Bytes at 1.
Hello and good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Nissi Bytes at 1. My name is Mboya Faith and our sign language interpreter today is Grace Moher. Welcome. Now on to our first news. President Uhuru Kenyatta has called on IGAD heads of state and government to work together towards sustainable solutions to challenges that pose a threat to regional peace and security. The president on Tuesday said that Kenya will continue to use its global voice to advance African solutions to African problems during the IGAD summit. Let's hear more from our reporter.
Kenya will continue to use its global voice on behalf of the people of the region to advance African solutions to African problems. Kenya will continue to collaborate with regional as well as international partners to strengthen conflict prevention and promote sustainable peace and development.
The president cited violent extremism, drought and armed conflicts as some of the challenges that require urgent attention from the IGAD leaders. The president said that in the past 2 years alone, the region has experienced a desert locust invasion, a crushing drought that is still ongoing, numerous threats related to violent extremism.
Kenya will also continue to work towards strengthening the conflict resolution capacity and overall capability of our regional institutions, and in particular, the East African Community, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, and the African Union, to make them more effective in accelerating the transition towards the peaceful and prosperous region that we all aspire to achieve.
Armed conflicts, and like the rest of the world, the region has not been spared from the COVID-19 pandemic. He further stated that the drought is the worst in 40 years and has intensified food insecurity, also dried up water sources and forced displacement of people, raising tensions that could trigger new conflict.
And sustainable economic development. It is, ladies and gentlemen, in our interest to do so, because I do believe we have a shared vision to become a politically stable, peaceful, and prosperous region. And we know very well we cannot achieve sustainable development and prosperity without peace and security. Our discussions today are therefore of immense importance to Kenya and our region, because we in Kenya recognize that our political and economic stability is dependent on the stability of the IGAD region.
Therefore, he said that there is need to manage the drought before it becomes a threat multiplier. Reporting for Nissi Television at 1, my name is Aching Faith. Now on to our second news. 2 security guards have been killed at the Matayos Business Center in Busia County by unknown people before seizing some valuable properties. Let's hear more from our reporter.
The 2 met their death where one is said to have been slaughtered while the other one succumbed after sustaining injuries from a blunt object used on him. Matayos residents were furious and demanded police officers to intensify investigations to arrest the perpetrators.
Vijana wawili ambao huwa wanalinda hapa maduka za wafanyabiashara imepatikana usubuhi ikiwa wameuawa kiunyama, mwingine akiwa amechinjwa, amekatwa koo lake, mwingine akiwa amepigwa sana na akafichwa kwa nyasi nyuma ya maduka.
The residents have also called upon Matayo police officers behind the patrol cars to enhance security in the area.
Matayos police station yenye iko karibu na sisi hakuna kazi inafanya kwa sababu hawana hata njia ya usalama, hawana njia ya usafiri. Kama kunawezekana, kama hiyo police station itaendelea kuwa pale, tunataka gari ya police pale mara moja. Tunataka patrol iendelee kila wakati.
Residents said that another incident had occurred where a gun was used in a crime and no action was taken on the police officer who was found guilty.
Hakuna hatua yoyote ambayo imefanyika. Kwa huu mwezi mmoja hivi majuzi bunduki ilipatikana hapa Matayos ambayo ilifanya kisanga ya kupiga mtu risasi, na hiyo bunduki ambayo ilihusika, huyo mtu alikuwa amevaa uniform ya polisi.
Sisi kama wafanyabiashara tuko na wasiwasi kwa janga lenye limetokea. Last year wameua mlinzi tena Masai na wakajeruhi mwingine. But kitu yenye inatushangaza sana ni hao watu wanafanya hiyo wizi, lakini hakuna mtu mwenye anafuatilia.
They now have declared to conduct peaceful protests until their problems are solved.
Hivi kwa pamoja ya kwamba tutafanya maandamano ya amani. Juzi kulikuwa na Busia maandamano, watu wakaenda mpaka station, na mimi nilikuwa pale, niliona watu wakirushiwa vitoa machozi, hawakupeana hoja zao jinsi ilivyotakikana. Kwa hivyo sisi kutokana na hili tukio ambalo limefanyika leo, hatuwezi acha liende hivyo.
Hawa wakora tumedili tayari, tumedili na wakora kadha wa kadha, na tumeshapata bunduki kadha wa kadha hapa, si mara ya kwanza. Na hii tufuatilia kama yale mengine tumefuatilia mpaka tupate mwisho wake, tunasa watu ambao wamehusika.
Reporting for Nissi Television, my name is Shalom Manjera.
Now that was some sad news, and even looking at our next news, it's also a sad one, where a 17-year-old boy confessed to murdering 4 of his relatives. The suspect, Emmanuel Sakati, who is in the custody of police, said that he committed the murder after a disagreement with his aunt. Let's hear more from our reporter.
Tobiko's expectant wife and her 2 sons were killed in cold blood by the suspect Emmanuel Sakati, who was living with the family. This happened after a disagreement with the late Juliet Naeko. According to the neighbors, they heard screams from Tobiko's house at around 10 p.m., but the screams faded because of the heavy rain that night.
Waliuliwa kuipitia njia ya kunyonga. Kama huyu mkubwa ilinyongwa, alafu ikakatwa sehemu kidogo hapa, kidogo, alafu huyu mdogo ni kama imesungushwa tu shingo mpaka ikafunjika.
Mwalifu ni kijana wa hapa, tena ni wa boma hii, kwao ni hapa juu. Vile nimesikia waliwahi sosana na marehemu sasa mwenye nyumba, akashukiwa kwa mambo ya wizi.
Sisi tukakimbia mpaka na sisi tushuhudie kweli watoto wameuawa, ama tukakuja kukuta ukweli watoto wameuawa, wameweka manguo kwa midomo. Ni kama mtu aliweka manguo akawanyonga kusudi wasipige kelele. Sasa ndio tunaomba, kwa sababu ya kitendo ni kitendo kibaya sana ya unyama. Hata tujaiona wala kusikia, ndio yani tunasikianga tu tujaiona.
They later found the late Juliet Naeko bleeding meters away from her house and the body of her 2 sons marks. Sad Tobiko says that he is leaving the matter to the government because he even doesn't know where to start with all his family dead.
Wawili vijana wanaume ambao walikuwa wameuawa na wamelazwa umbali wa mita 150 kutoka nyumba yao, na ilibainika kwamba vijana hawa walikuwa watoto wa marehemu.
Confirming the incidents, Transmara OCPD Hamisi Gazala revealed that the suspect confessed the murder, saying the disagreement with his aunt was the motive of the murder. Reporting for Nissi News Bytes, I am Grace Moher.
Let's take a quick break and come back with more news.
Five, 6, 7, 8.
Hello, everybody. It's a sound of praise and worship to whom created us. Join me, Joy Temba, every Sunday morning from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. live on Nissi Television for live Sunday service that is filled with the presence of God through worship, word, and encouragement.
If you gotta be for me, we'll love you, Lord. You will live for.
Yesu kasema mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye Baba yangu ni mkulima. Tawi lote lizaa litapaliliwa, lile ambalo halizai litakatwa. Mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye baba yangu ni mkulima. Mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye baba yangu ni mkulima. Bwana asifiwe sana wapendwa. Majina yangu naitwa Mbogwa GK, nimeokoka. Mimi ni mwimbaji wa nyimbo za Injili, na ukitaka kubarikiwa na huo wimbo wangu Mzabibu, uta SMS jina Skiza 1069056, kisha utume huo ujumbe kwa 811 na utakuwa umejipatia Skiza tune yangu ya wimbo Mzabibu, na Bwana atakuwa amekubariki sana. Bwana awabariki nyote. Wa kweli, naye baba yangu ni mkulima, kila tawi lisiloza uliondoa, na kila tawi.
You are now watching Nissi Television, House of Rest.
And now, welcome back to more of our news. Now, the Kenya Tea Development Agency said it will pay bonuses to the farmers for the financial year ending in June 30th, 2022. The agency dismissed claims of borrowing money to pay farmers during the second round payment of the bonus. It also added that the information being spread is not factual and that the bonuses are supposed to be paid by the start of July 2022, as opposed to the previous payments that were done in October. Our reporter reports. Now we'll give you more of that at the Kurunzia Nissi at 7 p.m. Looking at other news, authorities in Guinea arrest members of the opposition during a press briefing at the headquarters of the coalition that aims to return to constitutional order. Our reporter reports.
Authorities in Conakry, Guinea has arrested 3 members of the opposition organization, including its national coordinator, Fanike Mague. This took place during opposition coalition press which held at the headquarters, where they aim for a return to constitution at order. The coalition has recently threatened to demonstrate against the military junta led by the Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya that replaced former President Alpha Conde. After the arrest, the National Front for the Defense of the Constitution members vowed to continue to fight for democracy. Reporting for Nissi, Amwa Radhia.
And looking at our sports news, Collins Injera and center Vincent Onyala are out of the Kenya Simbas team that faces Algeria Lion clubs in the semi-final of the 2023 Rugby World Cup Africa qualifier.
According to the head coach
Our
of
reporter
Simba team, Paul Odera, he said he has given the 2 arrests after they got injured during the quarter-final match against Uganda on Saturday at Stade Maurice David. The 2 players have been replaced by Branson Adaka and Derek Ashihindu. The coach has also brought second-row Martin Owila to bench, replacing Brian Juma. The coach also said the Simba's team will be intent on keeping a high intensity in the entire match. On the same note, he mentioned that the team played well against Uganda, kept calm, controlled the game, and didn't let any errors affect their rhythm. Reporting for Nissi News Bytes, I am Grace Mohia.
Now, that was all for our News Bytes at 1 p.m. with Faith Mboya and with our sign language interpreter, Grace Moore. Thank you so much for watching with us and staying with us during this period of time. I can see Bro Luis following, Steve Morris, thank you, Florence, Majimaji the King, Miriam Samuel, Angote Alphas, Ibrahim Asman, and even those who we haven't mentioned and are watching out there. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, our social media handles are Nissi Television on all platforms. Just look or type Nissi Television on all platforms, and you'll get to know more about us. Thank you so much and have yourself a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.
The House of Rest.